Hello guys, and welcome to the very first ForeverRed3000 Q&A. It's me, ForeverRed3000. This is my voice, this is how I sound like, so we're already making some kind of progress as far as getting to know me. This is going to be quite different than what I'm used to doing. I don't really reveal much about myself on here just because this started out as a hobby. It still really is a hobby, but I didn't really think about it as far as a social networking kind of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm a little bit awkward when it comes down to this. Never really voice recorded and made a video like this, so I'm a little nervous, but y'all bear with me. So let's just go ahead and get into some questions about everything. So I'm going to start off with the post I made on my channel talking about the first Q&A questions if you all had anything. So there's 69 comments here. I'm going to try to answer them all. I know that some of them are repeated questions, so yeah. And if you have any other questions, of course, you can just leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that great stuff that YouTubers always say. So let's start off with the first question that was asked. If it loads up, right? All right. So first question that was asked is boxers or briefs? And that was from Papa Golf. And answer is briefs. All right, second question from Elig Deadman. What anime is your favorite? Ooh, that's a good question. My all-time favorite anime is Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z. Both those are really my favorite. They're very instrumental into my life. They're not like, of course, like I don't consider it like the best of all time, but it's my personal favorite because of what it means to me, what it did as far as introducing me to anime at a very, very, very young age, at the tender age of 3 years old, and just how much it stuck with me and it's inspired me as a person and my day-to-day life. I love Dragon Ball. I love the entire franchise. I love pretty much everything about it, the good and the bad. So yeah, next question. How do you pick which movies/songs to go into each OP? I think I skipped a few questions, but I'm gonna answer this one. How do you pick the movies and songs? So it's a whole different process. It really depends on my mood, and it's very situational. So there will be times when I'm watching a movie, or I'm watching TV or watching whatever, and I get some inspiration from that. I'm like, oh, that would be a great OP. Like the Harry Potter ones came from me having a Harry Potter marathon during this whole quarantine session. So I was watching them. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and make some OPs for Harry Potter. And also, some people had actually asked me to do Harry Potter after they saw the Star Wars ones, and I think that they were under the impression that I had animated the Star Wars OPs, which I have not. I am not an animator. I am just an editor for fun. Those are all from the Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures. But anyway, people had asked me to do Harry Potter videos after the Star Wars ones, and I was thinking, like, well, I hope I don't disappoint them by thinking that they're going to get something animated when I don't think there's really any Harry Potter animation as of right now. So, so I went ahead and I just was watching the Harry Potter OPs, got some inspiration from that, saying, okay, what are the core themes about it? What kind of song represents that? Etc., etc. Sometimes, like, the song will come to me first and I'll think, oh, what would go good with this song? And that's how something like the Aquaman one came about, because I had been wanting to make an Aquaman OP for a while, but I couldn't think of a song to go with it. And I was listening to this Diver, because like anybody that watches anime, you have anime songs on your playlist or whatever. And I was driving, and it just came to me while I was driving. I'm like, okay, yeah, this would go good with Aquaman. That's just how my mind works. It's very different each time, but I always figure out a way to make the song and the footage go together. All right. So what does the Pot of Greed do? Oh my gosh, a Yu-Gi-Oh question. Pot of Greed, I haven't played or watched Yu-Gi-Oh in a long time, so let's see if I can remember. I just know that it it's a very powerful card. As far as I remember, that it got banned from playing Yu-Gi-Oh competitively, but pretty sure it's like you could like draw a certain amount of cards, draw 2 cards. I think that's really it. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's what the Pot of Greed does. Okay, and what OP do I have constantly stuck in my head? And for this user that asked me the question, his is Unraveled. Mine is Smile Bomb from Yu Yu Hakusho. That is my shit. I love that song. It's so catchy. I play it on the piano all the time. It's so upbeat and it's iconic. It's one of the most iconic anime songs of ever, in my opinion. I love Smile Bomb. There's a lot more that gets stuck in my head, but that's like the first one to come to mind. Okay. How much time does it take to edit these openings? It honestly depends, but on average, the openings take about, I'd say, 3 hours max to edit one of those. Mainly because it's a whole different process of first finding the footage. I have to go online, find the footage, and get it and download it. Then also getting this the song and everything together, and then cutting it up, figuring out how it should flow together, or figuring out what footage to use at what certain points, all that stuff. And that's actually the fun part. My least favorite part is putting on the captions and the different kanji, the Japanese characters that go on top of it, because I don't really know Japanese at all. And I try my best to do it and make it as authentic as I possibly can. And I feel like I probably have gone a little bit overboard in some of the times that I've done it, because all I usually did was Google Translate, or I would go and look up through try to find Japanese sites that have the names already there and see if they translate properly, just different things. I would just copy and paste. I feel like I should probably get a lot more familiar with that part of making these things, these OPs, but yep. Next question. Why do you do these videos? For fun. Honestly, it's really for fun, just to have a creative outlet, even though I'm creative 100% of the time, since that's pretty much my profession. Not video editing, but like photography, art, acting, writing, directing, all that requires a lot of creativity. So this is just another like way for me to flex that creative muscle, and really doing it with something that I am that means a lot to me. So yeah, that's why I do it. How interested would you be in creating a variety of Star Wars or Clone Wars AMVs? This is something I would actually want to address when it comes down to editing things that are series. The way that I go about doing these is that if I have everything that you've seen from me from that's edited, that like the Harry Potter movies and the Lord of the Rings ones, I have the full movies downloaded in order to go ahead and edit those. One problem I was running into when I was doing all the different anime, the Marvel anime stuff, was I was downloading so many episodes to pull footage from. I would have to delete some, re-add them, delete, re-add, re-download, I mean, just to like cut them up into a proper way, because I was running out of space. Mind you, I got new computers now, so I have a lot more free space for all that to be worked with. But it was a big hassle as far as getting everything together in that regard. So for the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, that has quite a bit of episodes. Not a lot, but it has quite a bit, and I'm a quality freak, so I would make sure that it's as HD as I possibly can find it. And I would have to go through each episode and really like analyze and figure out a lot of things, because not every detail is to my mind. And that's the hard part about making OPs, is that I usually have to be very, very, very familiar with everything in order to get these made. Like Harry Potter, I know like the back of my hand. Lord of the Rings, I know the back of my hand. Star Wars, I know that like the back of my hand. Star Wars: The Clone Wars as a series, not so much, because I've usually only watched those episodes like 1 or 2 times. So it's kind of hard for me to like go back into my mental library and know which ones I'm going to do with that. So not saying that it won't happen, because it definitely most likely will. I actually attempted to do the Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and it didn't really come to fruition like I thought it would. But we'll see. That's just the way that my mind works and the way that I would go about it. All right. Can you do Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit anime OP next? Okay, I did Lord of the Rings. This was this post was made before I posted the Lord of the Rings ones. But the Hobbit, I'm not too sure of, only because I haven't even seen Battle of the Five Armies. And I'm not too big on the Hobbit franchise as far as the films are concerned. The book, of course, is great, but the films aren't my favorite, and I've only seen them each once. Now, I would love to go ahead and do one, and I probably will do one for like all 3 of them together, but kind of like an OVA style opening, but we'll see. Can you make the Avengers Endgame anime end credit scene? My goodness, I get this question on almost everything. Kind of what I explained as far as all the different footage and finding all of that. After the Endgame final battle video, I kind of just like cooled off from making a lot of the MCU content because of so much footage. I would have to go back and forth and like putting that together. The end credits probably wouldn't take as long, but I was kind of burnt out after the final battle one. I'll probably come back and do the end credits scene, the main credits sequence. I might as well do that. We're in quarantine. That's going to come up. That's going to happen. I'm not sure exactly when, but it will happen. What software do you use to do your animations, and what tools, etc.? Okay, yeah, sorry to burst your bubble. I don't do any animations. The editing software I do use to make these is iMovie, because I have Mac products and I am too cheap to go ahead and buy some video editing software. I probably honestly can. It's just that it's never been really a big necessity for me to go ahead and say I need better software for my videos. I make what I just manage with like what I got and just do my best with that. But yeah, I wish I could animate. That's a lot of time. I'm not the best illustrator or artist in that regard to go ahead and make some animations, but I support anybody that can and does. Question: ever thought about Soul Eater videos of any kind? Oh, absolutely. I love Soul Eater. That's one of my favorites of all time. It's so funny. I love Soul Eater. I've actually thought about doing different, like when I was doing the MCU and the DCU, I was always actively trying to think about how to put Soul Eater in, and I think I might save them for like X-Men or something like that, since and like kind of like tailored that in My Hero Academia and probably Mob Psycho 100, since those deal with a lot of students with powers kind of situations. Minus Deku, of course, so I have a Spider-Man in those MCU videos. But yeah, Soul Eater would probably be among that, possibly. So definitely you'll see some Soul Eaters soon. I want to get those OPs, the first 2, not the rerun OPs. I'm not too familiar with those, but those might end up working. But definitely Black Paper Moon, that song is incredible. And I've always wanted to use that one. I just never knew which one would be good with that. So, yeah. Next question. What's your favorite anime currently or of all time? So I already talked about how Dragon Ball was very influential and one of my favorite, and my personal favorite. That's would fit the of all time one, but my current favorite one, I would have to say, that's a hard one. That actually is a hard one. Mob Psycho, I guess. Does Mob Psycho 100 count as being one of the current ones? I mean, the 3rd season hasn't even been announced yet, and but man, that 2nd season was phenomenal. That 2nd season was so good. I love that. I'm a big fan of Beastars as well. I really really, really liked Beastars. Demon Slayer was great. Reading the manga right now, and not so. It has its moments. It has some moments for Demon Slayer's manga. And My Hero Academia, I can't stress that enough. I love My Hero Academia. That's such a fun series to watch. So yeah, and there we are with that. Next question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is your stock on toilet paper? We are at a 5 right now. People are going crazy buying all this toilet paper, like, for no real reason. It's kind of upsetting me. All right. If you had a superpower, what would it be? Teleportation. Easily. I would love to teleport. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Star Wars jokes. He's right. It's a system we cannot afford to lose. Go, I will. Good relations with the Wookiees I have. Revenge of the Sith. All right. Any advice for a newer, smaller YouTube channel? The best advice I could give you, especially for you, Scoundrel Media, you are a great YouTuber just from the videos I've seen of you. Keep doing what you're doing. That's honestly what I can just say is just keep doing what you're doing, because the fruits of your labor will definitely be shown. Like, you've already made successful videos just like in your first goes, so don't worry about anything as far as if people are going to try to watch it or anything, because you have quite the talent. So any advice? Yeah, definitely keep doing what you're doing. Just be humble about it and really appreciative of the process is what I could say. Really do it because you want to do it. Don't let anybody feel that you have to do anything that you don't want to do. And that's just in life. So apply that in life as apply it into your work. Which is your favorite Star Wars trilogy? Easy, the original trilogy. I've always been a Star Wars person since I was born, and it's always been the original trilogy. Always. Question, do you think English songs or USA songs fit anime openings if you're making a video opposite? Like my idea pop-up is Crazy from Gnarl opening song, A Future Diary, or Eye of the Tiger opening song for One Punch Man example. Like that, my ideas would be an interesting idea of videos. That would actually be very, very interesting. I think what you would have to do, of course, if you wanted to make them typical anime style openings like that, you would have to cut them down to the minute and a half length that they usually are, except if you're One Piece, and just make sure that you have the hook and the themes and everything like that. Yeah, I feel that would actually be very cool to see. So go for it. Definitely go for it. All right. How do you decide what anime opening you make next, and how do you choose the opening for a movie? I kind of explained this, but just to kind of reiterate, whatever my mood I'm in, whatever inspires me at the moment, I just go ahead and do it. Sometimes I try to plan things ahead, and that never really works. I'll say I'm gonna do something, and then my mind completely shifts and changes. So I'm getting better at just following what it is I'm doing and just announcing something that I already have done. So yeah. My favorite current upcoming anime or manga. Does Jujutsu Kaisen count? Because my goodness, that is some fire. I love that manga right now. The anime is coming out this year, I hope. I don't know with everything with the virus affecting anime. I don't know how that's been affecting any production for things, but Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely my favorite. If you haven't read it, get on it, or just wait for the anime to show up. But man, that's a great one. How do you deal with the YouTube copyright system? Been doing openings myself, and they always get copyrighted. Man, I just keep going. I honestly have been dealing with YouTube copyright ever since I started YouTube, and it's always just been a back and forth. I get copyright strikes, I just wait them out, they get expired, I keep going. I got copyright. All my anime LPs are copyrighted. They don't appear in Japan at all. I can't monetize anything. I don't really want to monetize much. I mean, it'd be cool, but hey, I don't know. So yeah, I just deal with it. I just embrace it and just face whatever consequences happen. Mainly because this is more so a hobby than anything. So if I were to get taken down, I just make another channel, just keep doing the same things I'm gonna do. I probably should make a backup channel. I probably will make a backup channel. All right. Which are your favorite anime? Well, I already talked about Mob Psycho and Dragon Ball, but to give off like a good list of my tastes, Cowboy Bebop, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, the Ghost in the Shell film, Yu Yu Hakusho, Mob Psycho 100, Gurren Lagann, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Code Geass, Eureka 7, a lot of Adult Swim anime. During the mid-2000s, early 2000s to mid-2000s era of Adult Swim anime, that was kind of my shit. Like Durarara, I love Naruto, My Hero. Yeah, just like, I love a lot of anime. I've been watching anime for a long time. If you want to get a little old school, Legend of the Galactic Heroes as well. Just great shows. All right. I think you should make a remake of your DC anime universe with a new cast. I think so too. That's actually something I've like experimented with and tried to do. I tried to do it with the Batman vs Superman by using Kakashi as Batman, but it just never really, I don't know. I think that I need to just either go ahead and remake it or just kind of ignore that and just keep going and like doing new DC videos. I don't know. They make it so hard. Yeah. Are you going to do Shrek? Nah, I'm not. I'm not gonna do Shrek. How do you learn how to edit? I learned how to edit by when I was in the 6th grade. My parents decided to get a Mac computer. I found iMovie, and I loved watching AMVs when I was younger. So I wanted to make AMVs. I learned how to do that, and that like evolved from AMVs to doing trailers. And I took those AMV skills I learned and started to make the anime LPs and. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, what career are you pursuing? I kind of explained what it is that I do. The active one that I'm pursuing right now is acting and directing. I'm a photographer, like I explained. So that's kind of like what it is I do. I'm in like the creative field. Also a writer, poetry, slam poetry, things like that. Yeah, so a creative, an artist. That's what I am. Alright. Is there a movie or show at all you thought of using Kaze no Uta for, and I ended up using that for Lord of the Rings? That's exactly what happened. If you were interested in making anime OPs for the Raimi trilogy and the Amazing Spider-Man movies, absolutely. For the Raimi trilogy, I want to make some OPs for that. That is one of my childhood favorite things ever was the Raimi trilogy. Huge Spider-Man fan. Those movies inspired me. So yeah, I'm gonna make some videos for that. The Amazing Spider-Man, however, not so much. I don't really have much of a personal connection towards those movies. I don't really like them. Like, they're cool, I guess. They're just kind of there. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan. So more than likely not. Okay. What console do you have? What's your favorite anime? And what's your favorite video game? Well, what consoles I have are a PS4 and a Nintendo Switch. What's my favorite anime? I already answered that. What's your favorite video game? Well, right now, it is this Final Fantasy VII Remake, because my goodness, this is such a good game. Oh my gosh, I love the original Final Fantasy VII, which probably would have been my answer. But this remake is phenomenal. Like, this is it just pushes all the right buttons for me. Even like its controversial kind of ending, I love. Just because of how bold it is. It's so much fun. I'm so invested. I'm actually doing my second playthrough right now on hard mode. I just cannot get enough of it. I was playing it and already anticipating my second playthrough, and I'm playing it right now, already anticipating my third playthrough. Haven't felt like that in a while for a game since probably Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, I'm loving it. Next question. You should do an Indiana Jones OP. I should. I honestly should. Especially for Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, if I don't do any other OP, I will make sure that I make one for Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah. Next question. What program do you use to edit this? Already explained. I use iMovie. What show or movie do you want to make an anime OP on but can't for whatever reason? Ooh. It's not that I can't make one. It's that it's hard. It's like I'm kind of in a block with this one. But for Avatar: Last Airbender, mainly book 1, book 2, and book 3, I pretty much could go ahead and get done. And I've been trying to make an OP for book 1 for quite a while. I just haven't been able to really get the juice that I want to get from it. It was actually supposed to be my next OPs after the Star Wars ones were going to be Avatar: Last Airbender, but I just couldn't. I was making it, and I just was not loving it as much as I wanted to. I think it was really the song choice that I used, and I'm not going to say which one it is because I might be able to rework it and might just fall in love with it again. But yeah, so that's kind of been like the more difficult one to do. It's going to happen. I know there's a question asking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but yeah, that is going to happen. And once I get figure out what I can do with book 1, then book 2 and 3 and the Legend of Korra OPs, those will be like cake. So yeah, it's always the foundation that's the hardest part. That was the hardest part for the Fellowship of the Ring OP. The hardest part for the New Hope OP. Hardest part for the Sorcerer's Stone OP was always figuring out which song was going to be used for those. All right. Are there any other movie or TV series that you are going to make an anime opening out of? I already just said the Avatar: Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, but also Pirates of the Caribbean is the one I'm looking at doing immediately. I was already kind of hinting at it throughout my comments, but now I'm kind of in the process of, okay, time to rewatch the first 3. I'm not watching the other Pirates movies. Rewatching the first 3 Pirates films and figuring out what it is that I would like to do with those as far as my LPs. Got all the time in the world with this quarantine, so yep. Other than that, The Matrix as well. I'm really going back to kind of like franchises that really were influential in my life growing up. So yeah, Matrix and Pirates of the Caribbean will be up next. Do you choose the OP first and build footage around it, or do you select what footage you would like to use and then search for an OP that fits in editing altogether? The answer is yes for both of those. Like, it really, like I explained earlier, kind of depends on the mood and how I'm feeling and what I'm being inspired by. But whatever it is that I'm being inspired by, kind of dictates which way I go about editing. If I'm inspired by the song first, build around the song. If I'm inspired by the anime or movie or whatever, put that down and then just build around that. So yeah. How do you make your videos? I explained already. What openings are you thinking about doing next? Explain that already. Could you do Avatar: Last Airbender, Legend of Korra? Explain that already. What are your favorite modern animes? So modern, I'm gonna go with the past few years. So I would definitely say, of course, like I said, Mob Psycho 100, My Hero Academia, and Demon Slayer, typical like the shonen ones, and Beastars, but also Devilman Crybaby was something that really stuck with me. That was a really good, that was a phenomenal series. Also, Megalobox was great as well. I really was, I'm blinking on some of the names right now, but I could give a list. I could actually like type up a list of my favorites to answer some of this for you guys. All right. Would you be willing to feature another creator's AMV? Yeah, definitely. I'd definitely be willing. Yeah, I wouldn't say no. At first I was thinking, not really, but that's not really nice. I want to be nice, so yeah, I would. What's your advice to people trying to start editing? When it comes down to start editing, just do the things that you want to do, and don't go ahead and edit just to please people. I've caught myself doing that, and when I do it, I don't really like the work. and it's something that kind of just frustrates me. That was a big thing with the anime MCU videos I was doing. I was finding myself that I stopped liking them because I kept following what people were telling me what to do. Not really what to do, but really just kind of like very heavy suggestions on what should and shouldn't be done for the for those videos. All right. Are you doing anything for Morbius? And if so, what character are you thinking of? Because I know someone who'd be great for the role. Alucard laughs in the background. I was gonna do Morbius, but it just that trailer just was didn't do really much for me. And yeah, I was doing it with Devilman Crybaby, but Alucard sounds great actually. But honestly, more than likely not. If I'm feeling inspired, even doing trailers right now, that's just a lot of concentration and focus that I'm not sure if I can do. Sorry, I was yawning. But unless I'm like heavily inspired, I'll go ahead and make like a trailer. But right now, those are kind of like on the back end. Can you do a short scene of Spider-Man Far From Home when Mysterio reveals Spider-Man's secret identity, please? I'm not sure about that scene in particular, but I have been working on the scene when Spider-Man and Mysterio are fighting in the illusion sequence. I have been working on that, I will say that. Not sure exactly if it'll get done, just know that it's being worked on. How are you such much genius? Anyway, big preach, you the dude. Aw, thank you. This is Morbius anime trailer using Alucard. People are suggesting it, I might actually do it. How can I give you money? That, guess Cash App and Venmo. I always like, that's like easiest one for me. I mean, if you guys would want to do that, I would leave that in a comment or a description. But you guys let me know about that. I don't really look to get paid by doing this, but hey, I appreciate any kind gesture that people are willing to do. All right. Thank you. All right, next question. Are you ever going to do trailers for Morbius and Wonder Woman 84 and for the second Black Widow trailer? Have you thought about who the X-Men and Fantastic Four could be yet? And do you know how many anime you've watched so far? To answer the first question about the trailers for Morbius, Wonder Woman 84, and Black Widow, I kind of answered Morbius. Wonder Woman 84, it's kind of hard for me because I don't know who I would do for Wonder Woman. I did Korra, but I wasn't really, like, it was cool, but I don't know if I feel like doing that again. Then I tried using Saber one time, and I don't know. Wonder Woman's a hard character for me to really, like, get down for the anime adaptation videos that I do. But we'll see. And for the second Black Widow trailer, I need to get that done. I was working on it and I completely forgot. I think this whole coronavirus thing kind of shook up a lot of things, so yeah. And the second question, have you ever thought about the X-Men Fantastic Four could be yet? I've gone up and down and all around for those. The thing about mainly the X-Men is I don't know which team they're going to use for the MCU or which mutants they're going to use. There's so many that could be used, so many different arrangements. Like, of course, like there's Cyclops and the Jean Grey that more than likely will be featured. Storm, of course. But to answer the question for that, I've thought about it. I'm not entirely too sure who I would do. Fantastic Four, I've thought more concretely about, and who would it be that I use. And somebody suggested, and I kind of was thinking about the Straw Hats as well. Definitely Luffy for Mr. Fantastic, even though I had him as Hawkeye in that one video, just to please people that were asking for One Piece in the video. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But definitely, like, just thinking of different ideas for that. And do you know how many anime you've watched so far? I have no idea. I've been watching anime for quite a long time. And, yeah, it would just be a hard thing to get accomplished. Next question. Could you make the Walking Dead anime opening? I don't really watch The Walking Dead, so I highly doubt I'd make it. I'm pretty sure there's a good one that exists out there, so yeah. Sorry. Okay, a lot of these are repeated questions that people have been asking, so I'm kind of going to skip some. Sorry. What OPs are you opposed to using, like the OPs and endings that you hate? It's not an OP that I hate, but I don't want to use Silhouette because that's like a typical like one that people have been using in order to kind of like make their OPs. And I'm not saying that that's bad. Like, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle whenever they're going ahead and do that. It's just that I kind of like to go my own way and really choosing OPs that I think fit rather than going with one that is just popular. I do use some popular ones from time to time, but like I feel like Silhouette has gotten point to like near meme status, which is kind of why I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that one. Yeah, but I don't think that there's an OP or ending that I hate that I just won't use. So yep. Okay. How are you so awesome? I don't know. How are you so awesome? Thanks, man. Favorite anime OP? Ooh. That's a hard one. I mean, again, from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is the first one that comes to mind. That's just fantastic. 99.9 from Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. That's also great. Shala, Head Shala, of course, from Dragon Ball Z. So good. There's so many great ones. I don't really have a favorite. I just go through whatever it is I'm feeling. First question. How did you get into anime? Second, when did you first watch anime? And third, what is your favorite anime of all time? First question. How did I got into anime? There's a few things that makes into it. So, I grew up as a military kid. And because of that, there's a lot of people that my mom was friends with that liked anime just from like being in Japan and being overseas and everything, and they would show their kids it, and so they gave me a lot of it as well, like a lot of anime merchandise and stuff. And I was very young, very, very young. And also growing up, my mom watched anime back in America when it wasn't really known as anime. So she watched Kimbo the White Lion, or better known as Jungle Emperor Leo, and Astro Boy, Speed Racer. A lot of the vintage anime, the godfathers of anime. And so I watched those as a kid as well, like just as a baby, I should say. So when being in the military, we moved around quite a bit. And I remember when we moved to our new house in Virginia and we had the TV on, and I had to be 4 or 5 years old. And also, Pokemon and Digimon definitely were instrumental in getting me into influencing the anime. I don't even know how I got into both of those. I just want to get that out of the way. But when I was using the remote as a kid, I changed the channel to Cartoon Network. And the first thing I ever saw on Cartoon Network, when I changed the channel, was the trailer to Dead Zone, the Dragon Ball Z movie. And it's how I got into Dragon Ball Z. It's how I got into anime, and it changed me forever. And it was like Peter Cullen doing the narration of the trailer, talking about how Goku had to go find his son. And I'm just watching. I'm seeing these guys just fight, and these these explosions. I'm like, what is this? Because I never seen anything like that. Like, it was the next logical leap from watching like Power Rangers and Digimon and Pokemon to going into Dragon Ball Z. And it was at a very early age. So I was first watching them. So to answer the question, it was in the late 90s, early 2000s when I started watching anime at the tender age of 5. And what is my favorite anime of all time? I answered that, and it was because of that moment, the Dragon Ball. It was very influential to me because of that moment. I'll never forget that day. Next question. Are you a girl or a boy? And if you are a girl, can I smash? I don't know if you can tell, but I identify as a man, as male. I was born cisgender, male, all that. Pronouns he, him. Just want to disclaim that just so nobody really feels that they have to tiptoe around assuming what I am. But that's a weird question to ask if I was a girl if you can smash. We don't play around like that here. That's creepy. But to answer the question about my gender identity, yeah, I'm a guy. So, what is my favorite game? I answered that about Final Fantasy VII, but to like say some more favorite games of mine, Smash Bros. Love Smash. Loved Devil May Cry series. I love Kingdom Hearts. I loved a lot of fighting games. I play fighters quite a bit. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is a great game. Uncharted, The Last of Us. I'm a huge PlayStation person, so I'm on PS4, and I got my Switch because I've been Nintendo since I was a kid. So, yeah, it's pretty much. Okay, so pretty much all my comments I left on your Lord of the Rings videos in the Q&A chat link. How do you do the Japanese text when there's no English translation? I kind of explained that about the Japanese text and everything. So yeah, that is pretty much all the questions that I'm gonna answer for right now. If you had any other questions that you wanted to ask me or anything else, you could just always leave the comments. I'll be replying to these questions more. But yeah, and I'm ForeverRed3000. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Have a nice day.